And this is what you have tonight. You do have a quorum.
Do you have, yes, I was gonna say, we have to count. You've moved over. I'm recovering from a cold, so. All right.
Brian put me here.
Brian put you there?
Mr. Shorkey.
Mr. Shorkey put you here? Do you always do what Mr. Shorkey says?
Always.
Is that
Well, in this case, it was for health reasons.
all right.
When we start recording, I'll say something different.
Hey, Brian, if you can scroll to the top, I can at least start with or Mr. Shorkey, apologies.
Of course. Here
If we could just scroll to the top, I can at least get a kickoff while I get
Not a
myself
problem.
situated here.
Here you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will officially call the June 22nd meeting of the Meridian Township Planning Commission to order here at 6:40. Thank you. I will apologize for my lateness. I will attribute it to far too many bogeys today for my league, but I appreciate everybody sticking around. With that, I will go to roll call. So we have Commissioner Shrewsbury.
Here.
Commissioner Nahum.
Here.
Commissioner Brooks.
Here.
And the chair is here, so that represents 4 of the 6 members currently, Mr. Shorkey, so we do have a quorum to operate under our bylaws.
Yes, you do.
Commissioner McConnell and Vice Chair McCurtis are excused. With that, I can open it up for public remarks. Thank you. And with that, we'll call Marilyn Rue, is it? And Ms. Rue, if you wish, just please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Marilyn Roop, 1808 Birchwood Drive. Okay. You know, I'm an Okemos Meridian Township resident. I don't understand why we have a planning commission if you're going to allow all these gas stations to be built on Grand River. I mean, how many gas stations do we need? This is ridiculous. What does the planning commission do? I think I talked to Mr. Shorkey, and he said if it's privately owned property, they can build what they want. So what does the planning commission do as far as not having all these gas stations or anything else that's is this going to look like Gas Station Alley on Grand River? Is that what we want Meridian Township to look like? I don't think so. I think we ought to try to get something else in there, but I don't know what the Planning Commission does. Do you oppose this, or do you just let them build this because that's what they want to build? For example, we have Rite Aid, a vacant property for how long? What's going to be built? Does anybody contact those people? I realize it's privately owned, but can't the township contact those people to maybe try to get something in there? And as far as the gas station right here on, I think it's 7-Eleven that wants to do this. You know, Verizon building has been empty, I would say at least for 15 years. Now, all of a sudden, somebody wants to build with Verizon, I think Outshiner, a gas station there. What's with all these gas stations? Are they making that much money that we need to let them come in here? Are we getting that much taxes from these people? I guess I don't understand that part. I want to know what the Planning Commission does as far as trying to get proper commercial property and not a whole bunch of gas stations or a whole bunch of whatever. I mean, a restaurant would have been better than a gas station. I realize it's a gas station and a, quote, convenience store. Well, we got Speedway over there. Then we're having tailgaters over there. And now we want 7-Eleven over here? That's a lot.
You got 30 seconds.
Okay, that's my thing. So, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Rue. And I will say, I apologize. Normally, I am supposed to preface it by saying that you have 3 minutes and that we will provide a timer. I failed to do that in this case. So you may put that directly on my shoulders.
Okay.
And I note the next commentary,
Mr. Chair, you got another person?
he's under,
You got a form?
okay, I do have a form.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Can I read my comments, because I put them on the back? I'll get it to you afterwards.
Yeah, because I need it for note-taking purposes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, my name's Michael Karagoulis. I live in the Briarwood neighborhood down the road, but I'm a landlord.
Can you give us your name and your?
Yeah, name?
Here, let me preface it. Let me do this the right way this time,
Okay.
sir. All right, name and address for the record.
Yep,
Let's put that on the record.
Michael Karagoulis at 2177 Heritage Avenue.
All right. And now, Commissioner Shrewsbury has started the clock here. I think there's a thing here. You'll get about a beep with 30 seconds left to go.
Okay. I own a duplex on Wardcliff, right by that gas station proposal, just one duplex away from the cul-de-sac. And I've had it for 45 years. It's been great. And I've seen a lot of change. We had a trailer park in my backyard, and that was terrible. That going to a Whole Foods, great job. That's just really helped, the neighborhood safety. And the feature on there that I really like is there's a nice high berm along that lot line between Wardcliff and the Whole Foods. That keeps down the noise. There's no noise from Whole Foods. And, everybody feels safe. It's great. And that's what I'm advocating for this 7-Eleven property, because there's going to be cars coming and going and mufflers and all the other things, and we'd rather not have the noise lowering our property values. What we have right now is a big improvement. So that's what I wanted to say. If I have that, I'm in favor of the whole thing. Other than at night, I noticed the lights on the back of that motel, that crappy motel that we've been living with for all these years. Love to see that go away. But there's lights on there that just flood the streets all the way up Wardcliff. It's like aircraft landing lights aimed right at us. And that's wrong. I don't want to see that. I want to see that light stop at the lot line there. Okay? And I know that's a priority, but those lights haven't been there that long, so somehow that got by you guys. Okay? End of report.
Thank you, sir.
Here you go.
48 seconds to spare, according to the timer. Very good. Do we have any more public remarks? Very well. Seeing that, I will close public remark at 6:47 p.m. And with that, we can move on to item 4 on the agenda, which is approval of the agenda. Any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Moved by Commissioner Nahum,
Second.
second by Commissioner Brooks. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? With that, the agenda is approved. With that, we can move on to item 5 on the agenda, approval of the June 8th, 2026 minutes. Does anybody have any additions, deletions, or changes to the June 8th, 2026 minutes? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Brooks,
Second?
seconded by Commissioner Nahum. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we can move on to item 6 on the agenda, which is communications. We have no communications. With that, we can move to public hearings. And with that, we will have first on the agenda, SUP 26017 Sheets. I recognize Mr. Shorkey.
Thank you very much. So Sheets Incorporated is the applicant and has submitted a special use permit application for the construction of a Sheets gas station, convenience store, and a restaurant at 1930 and 1878 West Grand River Avenue. I do have it up here on the Google Maps so everyone can see what we're talking about. This is indeed the former Verizon building, the Outshiner gas station, and this is the area we're talking about. To recall, a month or two ago, you approved a special use permit right here for Huntington National Bank. That doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm just giving you some context. It is in the C2 zoning district. The C2 does allow gas stations as a special use permit. There are requirements that have to be met for that to be approved. I will get to that in a moment. It is shown in the master plan. as commercial. The purple here is the Pica, the mall Pica that we approved in 2023, and then this is the Sheets area right here. It is consistent with, the gas station is consistent with the C2 zone, the master plan, commercial designation. As I said, it is allowed as a special use permit if the requirements are met. Going down, number 3 here, the attached site plan shows that the applicant is complying with dimensional requirements in the township zoning ordinance. I will note that this will come up later. The dimensional requirements for a gas station are more stringent than typical. And there is one variance necessary for approval, section 86-400, subsection E, paragraph 13. Standards for gas stations in the C2 zone state that no more than 10 vehicle fueling stations are allowed. This is the same issue that you had on the tailgaters just to the east of this a couple months ago. Proposed site plan shows 8 pumps, and that is 16 fuel stations. So variance will be required for the extra 6 fuel stations. That is not necessary for the special use permit. It would be necessary to approve any subsequent site plan that would follow this. Following on vehicular traffic, the applicant did submit a full traffic impact study. The impact study assumes an access to Marsh Road through the adjacent parcel to the west. There's going to be some maneuvering of parcel lines in there, and there is access to the Huntington Bank site that gets them out onto Marsh Road. The study using that assumption, the study makes 2 recommendations: maintaining the Marsh driveway, which they call driveway 1 in the traffic impact study, which is in your packet, as a full access drive, controlling it with a stop sign, and maintaining both driveways on Grand River Avenue as full access drives and controlling them with stop signs as well. This will be this traffic impact study will have to be formally approved by Michigan Department of Transportation, as my understanding. The applicant has been talking to them anyway. Adequately served by public water, stormwater will be reviewed by Ingham County Drain Commission's office during site plan review, like we typically talk about. As far as the specific standards for a gas station found in 86-404, the only issue that we're really noticing, again, 16 fuel stations requires a variance for 6 extra fuel stations. The drive aisles are adequate, their setbacks are met. So staff really doesn't have a lot of other comment on this. The applicant is well represented here tonight, and we can answer questions.
Thank you, Mr. Shorkey. Any questions for Mr. Shorkey?
Quick, just for the audience, just to make sure everyone's on the same page. So Planning Commission's not allowed to make a decision on either one of these applications tonight. This will come back for a second meeting at the first July meeting. That's when they're going to be allowed to make a decision. Having said that, because staff has to write a resolution, you'll have an idea which way they're going to go. They do what's called a straw poll, but please understand that's not a binding vote. Anyway, with that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Shorkey. Questions for Mr. Shorkey from the commission?
Thanks, Mr. Shorkey. So if this was the former site here was a car wash, is there any history on why that site hasn't been redesigned for something else until now?
No.
When a car wash is at a place, does it accumulate any sort of waste in the ground like we have to deal with?
I'm going to let the applicant speak to that. I can say that generally speaking, I don't think Sheets would move forward on a site without doing their proper environmental due diligence, but I don't have anything specific in my paperwork regarding that. I will let them speak to that question.
Okay. Well, I guess the question's more like just a general, whenever we have car washes in the township or in your planning experience, do they lead to anything that has to be cleaned up before something is put on top of it? Just generally, I'm not speaking just about sheets.
Depends kind of on the age of the of the car wash that we're talking about. I can't speak specifically in this case. Again, I'll let the applicant let you know what, if anything has been found. But I don't have any environmental reports or anything that's not part of our requirements.
Then I have a follow-up question with that.
Sure.
Let
me bring it up so we know what we're talking about here. Here we go.
So then I don't know why I can't remember car wash. Car wash is on the right there.
Correct.
On the parcel. And then sheets is basically overlaying on part of that
No,
to some extent.
they're looking at this here, and then see there's an access here. I'll zoom in. There's an access here onto the now Huntington site. That is the north part of their property, and then the Verizon building, and then all the way to the property line here, wherever that is. Yeah, right in here, sorry, right in here. And those two buildings would come down and sheets would go in there. So you see there are two, as referenced in the traffic study, there's a drive here and a drive here. Traffic study suggests that those should be left open and controlled with stop signs.
Does the Huntington branch have a new entrance coming in that same location?
No, they're using the same drive. They've got a drive here and they've got an access out to Marsh Road.
So if a gas station, in your experience with gas stations as a planner,
Sure.
not just about sheets,
Sure.
what's the likelihood of a site getting repurposed once it's a gas station?
I haven't had that experience personally. Clearly, gas stations do get redeveloped. I'm thinking of one outside of our jurisdiction on Lake Lansing Road that was getting but it got redeveloped into a more state-of-the-art gas station. None of the gas stations that I've personally worked on in my 26 years have gone out of business and redeveloped. Not saying it can't happen, but I've not seen it happen.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Commissioner Nahum, okay, see you.
My question was if Huntington had changed, it was going to use the same cutouts, but it sounds like they will be, so that answered my question.
Any other questions for Mr. Shorkey?
Not at the moment. Not for me.
Thank you. With that, if they so wish, we'd invite the applicant up should they wish to make comment. You are not required to under any circumstances, but you may if you wish.
Anything you want to say?
And again, sir, name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Aman Walia, 39300 West 12 Mile Road, Farmington Hills. I want to start by thanking you for having us here today and also thank the staff for their time and support. Before we get into the site-specific details, I would like to introduce the brand and just give a brief introduction of Sheetz. Has anyone been to Sheetz before? No?
Yes.
Okay, great. I would highly recommend it. All right, so Sheetz was founded in 1952 in Altoona, Pennsylvania by Bob Sheetz. It began as a small restaurant and a convenience store, and about 25 years later, we added fuel to the business. And then fast forward nearly 75 years, and we've grown to more than 800 locations, soon to be operating across 8 states. What's really special is that we're still a family-owned and family-operated company. More than a dozen family members are still involved today, and one of them actually leads this region. One of the biggest things that sets us apart is our full made-to-order kitchen. We offer hot dogs, salad, chicken, appetizers, burrito, subs, you name it, and we have it. Between all our ingredients and customization options, customers can create over 1.8 million combinations. Again, 1.8 million combinations. We also have a full specialty beverage program with smoothies, espresso drinks, lattes, milkshakes, and more. And beyond food, we carry a wide range of grocery and convenience items, everything from chips to drinks, to bread, eggs, bacon, toilet paper, and over-the-counter medicines if you need it. And we aim to be a true one-stop shop. Another point of pride of us is our building and design and landscaping. We invest heavily in our architecture, and we maintain our sites with great care. Much of that work is handled internally by our own store support team, which helps us keep a consistent, high-quality standard. We're also proud to be a great place to work. Sheetz has been on the Fortune 100 Best Places to Work For list for 11 years. And if you break that down to category, we are the number 2 in retail in the country. Our benefits also include ESOP, 401k, tuition reimbursement, PTO, medical, dental, vision, and much more. And finally, we believe strongly in giving back to the communities we serve. We support programs like Sheets for the Kids during the holidays, Make-A-Wish, Special Olympics, food donations, and partnerships with the local schools and the community organizations. With that background in mind, we're excited to talk about the site and how we can be a positive addition to the community. I would like to call Kaveh, our engineer, to give that site specifics. Thank you.
Can you change the site plan?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Kaveh Apaxian, 1043 Onondaga Road, Hope, Michigan, 48842. I think it's page 31. Again, my name is Kaveh with CESO, civil designer on this project. I just wanted to give a brief, keep going, a couple more.
A couple more?
Yep,
Is that,
one more.
no, that's the demo.
Right there.
you go.
Obviously, we talked about the location. It actually consists of 4 parcels. And as you see there, we've oriented the building in the, kind of similar to Outshiners in the Verizon store. It's a 6132 square foot building. We've got 42 parking spaces. We've got 8 fuel islands or 16 positions. As Brian mentioned, we will need to get a variance for the other 6 fueling positions. We are maintaining the cross access between Huntington and the folks to the east. We've actually been in communications with Huntington to make sure that, you know, our grading and whatnot line up. Their dumpsters can be accessed when we do our project, so we've been in communication with them. What else? We do have outdoor seating shown on the south side of the store there. Dumpster is tucked in the back. We've been working with the Ingham County Drain Commission on their requirements. From a traffic perspective, the level of service essentially remains the same. I think we're an additional 1 second delay with the added traffic. We did get approval from MDOT. I have not shared that with you yet, Brian. We're still waiting for approval on Marsh from the road department. But again, none of those 3 accesses, 2 on the south side and 1 out to Marsh, will remain the same. We are showing sidewalk connectivity on the east side of our site, so folks can safely get from the store to Grand River. And I believe one of the questions was regarding the car wash. We do an environmental assessment and make sure that if there's any things that needs to be remediated, that it's taken care of. We have not got the environmental assessment back yet, so we don't know what that is at this point. Any questions?
I have one, so I think I'm just somewhat intrigued because unfortunately Commissioner McConnell, who is our traffic study expert, is not available tonight, and I'm not going to attempt to fill in for him, but your traffic study cannot possibly take in the traffic studies of the other forthcoming buildings that we have between the Huntington there, and then, as Ms. Rue mentioned, and, you know, there's to be a tailgaters up the road, you know, like, traffic studies can't study future and don't take into account future traffic studies, correct?
Correct. We're essentially taking the traffic that would have been by both of these existing facilities, and that's what we're considering our existing conditions, and then we have our build scenarios. So correct, we are not taking into account, our traffic study does not look at all these different developments.
Yeah. Not that it would be reasonable too, but it's an interesting thing when you start to pile on a whole bunch of different other increases in traffic. And I don't know if the question is for you or for you, sir, just like in general, just the, maybe it's a point of curiosity just on the economics. I don't know, I imagine you're aware, there's a Meijer right up the road with the gas station, a Kroger at the road with the gas station, a Speedway, there's also tonight a 7-Eleven, there's a tailgate, like, what does saturation look like when it comes to gas station? Understanding that you have other services between the food and everything, like, does that worry you at all with all the upcoming builds?
So again, like, we believe that our offering is more about the food and the complete package, what we offer, and not just the fuel. So we like to present ourselves more of a restaurant, and then the second preference is to the fuel and the convenience. So that's what we believe in, and I think our offer is going to be good, for the community here. And as far as the saturation, I feel like our study shows that there's enough for everybody as far as like the customers for fuel itself. So we feel pretty confident that everybody should have enough customers.
And I'm going to give you this. If you pulled the video from the tailgaters approval, he would probably say the same thing. He goes, "I'm really making money on food, not so much on the gas station side." So it's just two very similar models in a very small space. And I'm actually not convinced that is within the purview of this particular commission. There's probably an argument to me that's more of a policy discussion than it is an individual discussion, but I thought I'd put it out there on the record to see what you thought about it when you kind of factor in all the other economic development that's going to be happening in the short term.
Sure.
Okay.
Does Sheetz sell any supplements?
Supplements.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of drinks that are entering gas stations these days that have supplements in them, and they're not regulated by the FDA, but they end up in gas stations typically.
Like protein drinks and.
Yeah, or they're alternative caffeine drinks. They have, I can't remember what the drugs are that they have in them, but they're,
Like kratom?
yeah, kratom.
Yeah,
kratom.
like really addictive, yeah.
Yeah,
What was it?
Kratom.
Kratom, I think,
yeah, it's
So we.
KRATOM. And I'm curious if Sheetz sells any drinks that have kratom in them.
I will have to check back, but as far as my knowledge goes, we do not have that. It's what we sell is, we do have a wide variety of drinks, but it's more like Powerades and some protein drinks and stuff like that, but not exactly that drink. But again, our marketing kind of sets the products depending on the market and the community. But as far as my knowledge goes, we do not have any supplements like that.
Okay. Does the plan that you put forth in the packet is for 16 filling stations. Is this not viable at the permitted 10?
For Sheetz, no. Their business model is 16 fueling positions. Obviously, the more pumps we have as well, the quicker we can get them out, get them in, get them out. So they're not sitting there. We don't have a lot of room for folks to kind of sit there and wait for fuel. So the thought process is get them in quickly and get them out quickly.
Were there other locations that you've been looking at in Meridian Township for this?
Yes. We sat down with staff a year or so ago and talked about, I'm gonna blank on the names right now, Hamilton, that the old lots at Hamilton and Okemos Road, thank you.
Yep.
I can't remember the other bordering street, but we looked at both sets, the south side and the north side. And,
So it's the southeast and the, I'm sorry, southwest and the northwest corner.
I want to say, so I know I'm asking a lot of questions. I appreciate the amount of detail that you put into the packet and the thoroughness involved in it. It seems like a reasonable plan. The thing that is the most difficult for me is the immediate need for a variance on something within the space, given what both the public has commented on and the way the ordinance is designed around the size of a gas station and the number of gas stations we've approved or have seen recently. But I don't have any more questions at the moment.
Any other questions from the commission? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
thank you.
Any more questions for Mr. Shorkey? Okay. Hearing none.
Public hearing.
Yeah, we will open up for public comment. I do have one here for public comment, and I will call David Ledibor. Ledibor. Sir, name and address for the record, and then Commissioner Shrewsbury, when you start, we'll give you the 3-minute timer, and you'll get a 30-second beep should you go that long.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. David Ledibor. I reside at 4767 Cornell Road here in Okemos. I'm also a broker with Musselman Realty, and I'm the one that also spoke to you back in April concerning the Huntington project. That was our project, and at that time I explained that that was phase 1. This is phase 2, and I indicated that in our letter of support for that project. During these last few months, the Huntington team and the Sheets team have been working in very close proximity to do a very well thought out design of both these sites. The Verizon building and the car wash building are both economically and functionally obsolete. They were built on this land back in the early 70s. This land was part of the Grettenberger Farm, which was also the Myers and the Meridian Mall. So there were no buildings on this site previous to these two buildings. The owners of the building have had a phase 1 done. That phase 1 of both buildings determined there's no issues environmentally of either of these buildings. Sheets is spending the extra money to do a phase 2, where they're doing soil borings underneath both buildings to determine if there's any challenges for redevelopment. And Councilman Brooks, you mentioned other sites in the township that may have been gas stations that have been redeveloped. My company was involved at the corner of Okemos Road and Grand River, where the Walgreens is. That used to be an Amoco gas station. So there are precedents set. The one variance that Sheets has asked for, which is the number of fueling stations, matches what currently Myers Thrifty Acre gas station has on the opposite corner. They also have 8 pumps, 16 fueling stations. So there's precedent set in close proximity. Sheets, I will tell you, is a dynamic, well-run family organization that I sought out 2 years ago for this site. They were happy to check it out. They took their time. They evaluated every site in Meridian Township, and they chose this one. You probably read in the paper, their number 1 site that they built or will be building is in East Lansing, where a drugstore used to be, and directly across the street from a brand-new redeveloped gas station. They're not worried about competition of just a gas station. They're so much more than what a gas station is. They're a restaurant. They're a C-store, over 6,000 square feet C-store. They're employee-owned as well as managed. And I'll encourage you to look at their website, because the Sheets Foundation is a dynamic, community-supported group that it gets involved in Make-A-Wish.
Thank you, sir. That's your time.
Thank you.
With that, do we have any more public comment in Mr. Shorkey?
I do not.
Very good. With that, we'll close public comment at 7:14 related to the Sheets SUP 26017. Now, at this point is the usual point where we would do at least an informal straw poll to give Mr. Shorkey some direction for our next meeting. Commissioners who may be in favor of the sheets, raise your hand or would lean toward approval. Commissioner Shrewsbury?
This is nothing against Sheets at all. If I had to pick development for the township, gas stations are probably not what I would want to see lining Grand River Avenue, but these properties have been properties that have been available for a while, and it seems like that's who wants to come to Meridian Township right now. So I think the question before us isn't the kind of business, it's are we okay with the variance? And I mean, the gas station, we do have a responsibility to say okay to, but I feel that this is a spot that isn't immediately adjacent to neighborhoods. It's a spot that makes sense for a gas station. We used a rationale for the last one that we approved that was there are no gas stations going this direction. Now there will be 3 more. So that won't be an issue anymore, or 2 more, potentially 3. To me, it feels like I would rather see something else, but I don't have any objection to this that I could see myself not voting for it. So anyway, hesitant approval.
Commissioner Nahum?
Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt the straw poll for a discussion. But yeah, I agree with Member Shrewsbury about there being, it's nice that they're not residences very close to it. And I think that might be an issue perhaps for our next SUP. And I think there is a concern about redevelopment. Like, I think one of the most notorious brownfield sites are abandoned gas stations. That being said, I mean, I'm hoping that, I don't know if the township has requirements for insurance or things like that for environmental cleanup. Yeah, I agree that I don't know if we need more gas stations. I'm not really sure that's a big, like, that I feel strongly enough that I would oppose the development in that respect, especially if staff isn't saying like, hey, we have too many townships or too many gas stations. And so, yeah, I'm weakly in favor of it.
I would just echo Commissioner Nahum and Commissioner Shrewsbury's comments. It's not Sheets, it's not 7-Eleven, it's not tailgaters to me. It's, do we have a duty from a policy perspective to be concerned about the impact long-term? And Commissioner Brooks always has a great view on these things, and he talks about, have they been redeveloped? We hear, yes, we've redeveloped an Amico before, or it's, and Brian says, I haven't seen it in 26 years in this business, and it's, because once they're there, they're probably not going away. And it's a policy question, and I remember when I was reading through this, I started to think about, is it this commission's duty to think about policy questions? And I'm not sure it is, even as chair, but that doesn't mean we can't put our thoughts on the record and then let others think about it on a broader perspective. Because again, it's not Sheets, it's not 7-Eleven, it's not tailgaters. It's the larger policy of what ends up representing the community on Grand River.
So can I address that for a second?
Yeah.
You can tell me no if you want, but it is your purview to suggest land planning policy in the township. That's by
That's the
definition,
master plan.
planning commission. Yeah.
Yes.
If you feel like this is going to be an issue, you can tell staff, look at our C2 and, do some kind of look at what's more, potential. If you wanted to amend the ordinance somehow and propose an amendment, you have the right to do that. You also, I know staff has talked about, should we be looking at that fuel station number? Because that seems to be an old number a la a parking regulation, right? You know, some of our parking, like, I'm not saying we will do that, but those are the conversations we're having internally. And if you as a body feel like this is something that needs to be addressed, we've got a couple meetings in July with lighter agendas. We can put that on as a discussion.
I will say, Mr. Chair, I did have a note coming out of the Caddycraft discussion last time. There was that sentence in the reg that had Commissioner McCall and I at least spinning of what it meant on the primary use of something. But it's one thing to take up parking regulations almost in a vacuum, right? We took those up as a policy issue.
Right.
But then to start setting policy as there's items before us which are impacted by our under current policy and then pull the rug out, like that's a bridge too far for me.
And you can't go the other direction though. You can't say, well, because it's not in the list of SUP standards, you know, Michigan doesn't let you set a maximum number of a specific land use in your township.
Yep.
Here are your standards. Does it meet these standards? In this case, it does need a variance for the fuel stations, so did tailgaters.
Yes. Yeah, and my point is more about using policy in a reactionary something when we have these, when we start thinking on a broad scale and then to react and change policy when something is in front of us. You know, because when Sheets filed all these, their assumption is when we file this, you're going to follow the policy.
Oh, yes,
everything that's in place,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So, you know.
Absolutely.
I guess it's the difference between firefighting and fire prevention, right? It's, you know, but it's hard to think ahead until something pops up right in front of us. I mean, I say all that to say I'm generally would lean toward approval of Sheets, but it's a broader policy discussion that I think is worth having.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be back to you in this case, I think 3 weeks, and I'll have a draft resolution of approval in your agenda, and we'll come back for formal decision.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With that, we can move on to 7B. 7B is SUP 26018, and that is the 7-Eleven.
Okay.
And I assume, Mr. Shorkey, you're leading again.
I'll be in touch. Oh, yes. Okay. Special use permit 26018, 7-Eleven. Special use permit request to construct a 7-Eleven gas station and convenience store at 2736 Grand River Avenue. So up the road. Past the Hungry Howie's, over here.
Keep going, yeah.
Yep, right there. It is currently this Clarion Point East hotel right here. This is the site we're talking about. It is zone C2. It does, as far as a parcel goes, meets dimensional regulations. It is shown as commercial in the master plan as well. So all the same things I just said. There, gas stations are allowed as a special use permit with a public hearing in the C2 zone. This one is closer to residential properties. So the attached site plan, I can bring it up, obviously it's in your packet, shows the applicant's complying with the dimensional regulations. However, if the proposed site plan moves forward as drawn, does require the following variances. The rear setback adjacent to a residential district of 24.4 feet instead of the required 100 feet. Notable though, can be reduced to 60 feet by incorporating double row of interlocking trees, preferably evergreens. That's directly from the ordinance language. Building setback adjacent to residential district of 24.4 feet instead of the required 300 feet, same idea. And then we have a building perimeter landscaping requirement where the building's supposed to be separated from the sidewalk and/or the parking area where possible with a 4-foot landscape perimeter around the building. That's not shown in the, they plan to ask for a variance from that requirement as well. The nearest adjacent residentially zoned, I should have brought this up. Give me a second, I'll show you. Maps and GIS. Oh. I'm having slowdowns on this. What's going on? I don't understand. Here we go. Okay, well, anyway, okay, so forgive the shading. I don't know what's going on exactly here, but so these parcels are all residential. I don't show any of those on. That's amazing. Can I turn the zoning on? Yes, I can turn the zoning on. So this is all RX zoning, RX here. The end of Wardcliff is right, the Wardcliff cul-de-sac is right here. That's resident, that is right in here. And then here's 5047 and then 5042. So the proximity here, they're gonna end up needing dimensional variances regardless. It is adequately served by services though, public water, public sewer, all that. Staff doesn't have any other concerns other than that. They are not proposing they are proposing 10 fuel stations, so they do not require a variance to that. Staff does note it would lead to the redevelopment of the Clarion Point Hotel, and staff has heard favorable comments about that. Staff can answer questions. The applicant is well represented as well.
Any questions for Mr. Sharkey? Commissioner Nahum?
As was brought up earlier in public remarks, is it possible to contact like code enforcement about the lights on Clarion? I run down Wardcliff before dawn most weeks, and I've definitely thought there were cars coming at me.
Yes, yeah. If that was turned in as a code complaint, we do have a lighting requirement in the township. That is one benefit I will note from this. If this gets approved and it goes to site plan, we will request a photometric plan. They have to show zero foot candles at the lot line.
Okay, so there is a process that.
Yeah, oh yes,
Okay.
oh yes,
So regardless of our decision here, we can get that correct.
yes, absolutely.
Knowing, is this the form for Commissioner Nahum? But you know what, all's well that ends well, I suppose. Commissioner Shrewsbury?
The variances that would be needed, are those done, those aren't with our special use permit approval, those are done through site plan?
We have been advising the applicant to submit them concurrent with site plan approval. They're not necessary to approve the to approve the special use permit. I would write the variances into the conditions of approval on the resolution.
So if the variances are not approved, then the special use permit would be,
If the variances aren't approved, then I can't approve the site plan. If the site plan changes, that's going to be major change to the SUP. It's going to be back in front of you. Does that make sense?
So that would also be, that's the case for the previous applicant as well then, right?
Oh, yes. When someone submits a site plan with their SUP application, which they're supposed to, if we get the site plan in after the fact and it's remarkably different, that's an amendment, we will kick that back.
Commissioner Shrewsbury?
are there any other sites in the township that have such a reduced variance for proximity to a residential neighborhood for a usage like this? Like, are there other gas stations that are so close?
I'd have to research that question. Let's see,
The one
there's-
at Okemos and on Hamilton, isn't that gas station? right
Yeah,
against-
yeah, down here, this is a gas station, but it's, let's see.
Well, that's the dentist,
Oh, excuse me, you're right,
but the gas station was.
The marathon.
right
Yeah,
here.
Right there, but it's still right, I mean, it's right
We
there.
this is, no, that's not what I
That's
wanted to
not.
do. This doesn't operate the same way it does on my laptop, or on my computer, so please bear with me. So that's C2 property. It's not really, this one is, that's RC, so it's a multifamily residential zone. You recall this piece was rezoned a couple years ago to C1 from that RCC. What I was thinking more was up here, there's a gas station here, there's a mobile, I don't remember what it is now. It's that mobile on here. This is all residential, zoned RX. So you do have, gas station in proximity and adjacent to residentially zoned properties.
I mean, I lived in Lansing for years and along Michigan Avenue that, the
Oh, yeah.
on the strip abuts residential and
Sure.
they do a good job of trying to make sure that there's a delineation between, but.
Sure.
Would the neighbors who live in that neighborhood have been within the area that would have been public notice
Oh, absolutely.
hearing?
Absolutely.
Close enough that they would have,
Yep, absolutely.
all right, that makes me feel better. Thank you.
Any other Commissioner Brooks?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, trying to interrupt. Mr. Shorkey, for the Clarion Point Hotel that's there, what
Yes.
kind of hotel is that currently?
Clarion Point, I think that's the brand, if you want to see a picture of it.
Yeah, I pulled it up. Is it like a,
Yeah.
I guess, lower middle income kind of hotel?
I mean,
Like long-term stay
Got 2
style?
stars.
I can't speak to that. I can pull it up. I mean, it's a choice hotel, so, with the credit card in my pocket, I'd get points if I went there.
Fair.
But I mean, you're seeing the average rates. This is on Google, so I can't speak any more to specifics. But, here's a king bed 79, here's hotels.com 75, but take that with the grain of salt if you want.
What's in the building to the east of this, what's that one?
This is College Park Apartments. That's not affected by this.
Is that those are apartments though? They're like
Yeah.
year-long lease kind of
Yeah.
apartments?
Yep. Apartment building, I don't see a website. Rent is cheap, problem, I mean, I'm not gonna go into.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to.
Sorry.
No, no,
I
no.
don't think we need that on the record,
No.
Mr. Shorkey.
But yeah, it is apartments, yes.
Okay, yeah, my point isn't to ask about how expensive these things are or anything like that. It was more thinking about the diversity of establishments that we have in the township. And I was trying to think about, is there another place where a Clarion Point or similar establishment is located?
We have other well, let me think.
Or that one that is like this centrally located and accessible to lots of different people?
Not that I'm aware of. I could look into that if you wanted me to, if there was something specific you wanted me to research, but it's across the street from Trader Joe's, Starbucks, recently approved Starbucks, next door to Whole Foods. They are researching, they do plan on keeping, let me rephrase this. There is a probable access here. They do have submitted a traffic impact study as well, like not traffic assessment, traffic impact study. They are looking into whether or not this is recorded. We believe it is, but we're not the recording. Michigan doesn't have townships record easements. So they are researching that, and I'll let them speak to that further. The traffic study does assume that's going to be there. The traffic study does suggest that right in, right out, limited access movement be allowed on Grand River Avenue, and that should be controlled with a stop sign. The traffic study does assume, I believe the traffic study assumes, yeah, the traffic study assumes this connection, which is probable.
Okay, thank you. Slightly different question. Based on your experience as a planner, not just for the site,
Yeah.
is there a reason, like if we went to, I'm thinking of gas station proximity to grocery stores. So we were talking about Meijer or Kroger. Their gas station is typically fairly far from the actual store part. And it's surrounded by parking lots. Given this design, do you think that the gas station would be closer to Whole Foods than how Meijer and Kroger have it set up? Similar or?
Probably not, no. You got to go through this whole parking lot. The gas station would be situated roughly here based on the site plan. There's parking in front. Here's the proposed building. This is Grand River Avenue. Here's the cross connection to the Whole Foods parking lot. That's down here, and you've got all of this distance. No, it's not going to be any closer to Whole Foods than any other example that you brought up.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Other questions from Mr. Shorkey? Commissioner Nahum?
So just to confirm, the apartment that's right next to it, that's also zone C2? That's not residential then, that's directly adjacent to them?
Oh, wait a minute, yeah, that is correct. I've got the staff report up in front of me. Yeah.
So that's a non-compliance with our zoning then?
Yeah, we'd call that a non-conforming use. The zoning, yeah, here we go. All of this stuff. This would be easier to see if I shut the parcels off real quick. So, okay, all of this is all zone C2. This is the zoning line here. So you can see here's the RX zone, and these two properties here, and then you can see how Wardcliff comes. The end of the cul-de-sac is actually zone C2, and then C2 goes all the way up and down the Grand River corridor.
And a follow-up, so the dimensional rules are with regard to zoning, not current use. So even though there is a residence like directly adjacent, they can put the pumps as close to the apartments as they want, right?
That. Would you give me a second?
Oh, yeah, I think it's a pretty important question to me at least.
Ordinances. Okay. Residential district line, yes, not residentially used property. And that was, yeah.
Why would we write the variances into this SUP but not the other one?
Well, sure I would. And like I did for tailgaters.
Well, no, but I mean,
What do you mean?
so for Sheets, they're requesting an immediate variance, but then for
Yeah.
this case, we're trying to put the variances directly into the SUP. Why would we?
No, it's the same situation.
Still gonna go to the.
I can't approve the
Oh.
Sheets site plan without that variance. So your resolution will say as a condition of approval that they go to the ZBA and get a variance for the 6 extra fuel stations.
And the same thing would happen in this case, they request the variances for these.
Correct.
Several issues.
Correct.
Thank you, sorry, I was confused.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Other questions for Mr. Shorkey? Hearing none, Ms. Shorkey, you mentioned the applicant is here.
Yes.
You are not required to, but if you wish to speak, you may. And ma'am, name and address for the record, please. And
My name is Mandy Goss. I'm with CESO, the engineer on the project. Address is 13060 South US Highway 27, Suite D, DeWitt, Michigan, 48820.
thank you.
So thank you for having us here tonight. Wait for my presentation to come up there real quick.
Is that what your computer shows?
Nope.
Okay. hold on. Wait a minute, this one.
I have the site plan up right now just to start, and then I was going to switch over to the PowerPoint.
What are you plugged into?
Did I pick, I got the one you told me to.
Yep, okay.
I need to do something on my end to show.
No. This should be there. Guest laptop. Shouldn't be a problem.
Believe me, I know, working it all day.
Give me that.
Try unplugging and plugging it in now that I've got it up on the screen.
Okay.
This is why I'm learning acoustic guitar.
To unplug legit.
Did something at like on my side.
Guitar is so much easier to play because there's so much less tension on the strings. As a beginner, I really like the electric guitar.
Do I need to do? I used the one you told me to.
No, yes, you're using the, I mean, there's only one on.
Very slowly for like 2 years.
I just started like 7 months ago.
Don't have lots of control.
And I did
I need to do
classes
something
at the
about
school.
Can you,
music.
can you
Or
select?
the community music.
I was just trying to see if I could
see. And that was good.
There's like a.
He was doing all. He's like, you should get a steel string. You should learn classic guitar first, and you should learn all this
So-
theory. And I'm like,
Space
I did that
settings.
for.
I can't,
No, it's not much fun. I want to learn Taylor Swift songs right now.
You have to have fun.
My daughter this year, when you go into middle school, you have to make a choice. So she chose to do band, and she
Right.
took up the cello.
Cello.
That's
that-
orchestra now.
Showing two
Orchestra, I'm
display.
sorry, yes, orchestra, yes. And she just really wants to be Wednesday Addams.
I assume they have a cello that at the school
Oh,
that
yeah.
she could use, so she doesn't have to lug.
Oh, no, but we had to rent one too.
There
But
it
that
goes.
one stays.
oh, is that,
I
okay.
changed it on mine. I was seeing if
Okay.
it was, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
All good, we got to have a discussion about guitars,
excellent.
so.
Thank you for having us here tonight. This first image I have up, I'll go to the presentation in just 1 second, but I know there's been a lot of discussion about the lighting and proximity of the other use. So I thought this was a good example. The green is our proposed site, the red is the existing site, just to kind of give you an idea of the change. So the existing site, you can see the rear parking lot here, kind of goes really close to that rear lot line for the hotel. And actually down here, it goes over the lot line into the right of way there. So you can see the green for the proposed, our dumpster is much further south than that existing parking lot line. And we do have quite a large area for a detention pond, which would be adjacent to that residential district. So that should help alleviate a lot of the concerns with the lighting, help, soften the sound effect because it is further from the residents than it is today currently with that parking lot. So I just kind of wanted to show that specifically since I think it shows very clearly kind of how it lays out in relationship to that existing hotel. I'll go to my presentation now. There we go. Excellent. So again, thank you for having us here tonight. This is for a 7-Eleven gas station. I know some of the packet might have said Speedway at one point. I apologize. Speedway has changed their, let me start. 7-Eleven purchased Speedway in -- At the time, all of their stores that they were doing in Michigan were being branded Speedway, since it's very popular in Michigan. As of a month ago, they have resorted back to going to all 7-Eleven, and they're going to be changing all their branding to 7-Eleven over time. So just to kind of point out I apologize for the discrepancies between Speedway and 7-Eleven, just so if there's any confusion. This is going to be a 7-Eleven branded gas station and owned by 7-Eleven. So just to point that out. So the sign package you have in front of you is what would be proposed for this site. I know, again, the original package, I think, had some Speedway signs. So I just wanted to make that very clear to avoid any confusion. Again, this is the site we're looking at. You can kind of see it's a little bit of an odd shape. Again, you got Grand Rivers on an angle, so we're trying to orient the site to best align with the main roadway. You got the Whole Foods. He's done a pretty good job. I think everybody understands where the site is, so I'll just jump forward to the site plan itself. So for our site plan, we're looking at doing the 5 dispensers, which would be the 10 fueling positions, which is within your special use standards. Our proposed building is a 4,852 square foot convenience store. It does not have a restaurant in the use. It is a ready to grab type of food, made ready, fresh, grab and go type of setting. We are proposing the detention pond in the rear of the site. So it'll be above ground pond and will meet the Ingham County Drain Commissioner standards. You do see like a darker hatch area to the left side of that right in, right out. And just to explain what that is, it is a red stamped concrete pad to delineate we have to have that in order for the fuel truck to be able to exit the site. This layout was approved by MDOT as far as access, and our traffic study was approved by MDOT. So you can see the red fuel truck on the left side there, just to kind of show that fuel truck movement. It would enter through the Whole Foods cross access, and then it would exit through the right in, right out. So that is the reason for that driveway. I know we worked with MDOT closely to get something that would work for that fuel truck movement. I mentioned we are increasing the distance from that rear residential lot line to the dumpster and parking area from what is there existing today. So I feel like it is definitely going to be hopefully an improvement for the residents to the north. I know I'll bring John up, the developer, in a few to discuss the outreach he had with the neighbors, just so you guys get a better comfort level with that as well. We are proposing some landscaping along the north, and we're happy. I know they mentioned the possibility of a berm or beefing up that landscaping. That is not a problem. We are showing arborvitaes along that north property line adjacent to that pond. If we need to do the double row, we can do that. You know, we're willing to negotiate and work with the township and neighborhood or ZBA, whatever, to make sure that everyone's happy. We are meeting the impervious area for the site. I know you have a lot coverage maximum of 70. We're actually only at 62. So it actually is an improvement overall to the site for impervious area, because we are removing some of the pavement from the existing condition out there today. Just to discuss like the variances, just to kind of give some dimensions, I know we are requesting those variances for those setbacks to the rear. As you can see, the 24.4 feet is called out there, and I don't know because you mentioned that was zone C2, that cul-de-sac. I don't know if that would.
The end, I show that the end of the cul-de-sac is into the C.
Yeah.
But the road itself is in the residential district.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, sorry.
No. But where the tightest point there, you can see the dimension, it's the 24.4 feet. From that corner though, to the residential house to the north, just to that property line, it's 130 feet from the corner. So it definitely has a larger space from that building corner to the northern property line where the residential home is located. Just thought it would be good to point that out. One of the reasons we were requesting a waiver for that landscaping along the front of the building, that 4-foot wide perimeter landscaping, the code does mention that it can be approved by the Director of Community Planning and Development during site plan review to not have that there. And part of the reason we don't like to have landscaping adjacent to the front of the building is more of a maintenance and tripping nightmare. We tend to have, you'll see the video in a second, our front sidewalk is flush. We do not have a curb. We have bollards across that whole front to protect the pedestrians. And the reasoning for that is tripping. There's been issues with, if somebody trips, they sue, unfortunately, and it's just the way it is. So in order to make the site more accessible and friendly, they do a flush curb along the whole sidewalk, along the front, and then they add bollards along the front for pedestrian protection. But adding that landscaping between that sidewalk and the front of the building, you then come into conflicts where we have the propane tanks, the ice machines, and maintenance, because a lot of times you'll use a mulch or rock, which tends to get into the sidewalk instead of staying in those beds. And then you have more tripping hazards. It's just, we prefer not to have it right adjacent to the building. More of a 7-Eleven standard than the reason we're requesting it. We are showing a small green area to the left of the sidewalk, on the left side of the building, and we will have green to the right side of the sidewalk on the right side of the building. We do exceed the landscape setback along the front too, along the road. So I think we have 20 foot's required. I think we have like 25 feet. So we do have more landscaping area along the front. It's just we don't really want to put it between the sidewalk and the building due to all the area items I just mentioned. I did want to point out too, just to kind of show this picture in the bottom, is just to give an idea of the visual tree line that is there today from the residents. That is a Google image from that cul-de-sac looking towards our site. So, and we're not planning on removing the existing vegetation along that property line. We'll plan on leaving along the main property line there in place. So I wanted to just point that out. This is the proposed building elevation that is being proposed for this site. This was the Speedway branding colors, and if you guys like this, we'll happily do this. Or if you guys like the 7-Eleven when I show you the video, you guys can select the color tones you guys prefer. They're very similar, just slightly different shading tone-wise. So this is showing the 8-inch. The darker tones is an 8-inch integrally colored CMU block. It has a polished textured finish, so it kind of has a little more of a decorative appearance to it. The wood is a spruce wood panels, and then the metal area is this silver corrugated metal panels to help break up the facade. This is the canopy, just to give you an idea of what the canopy appearance would look like. Again, I know your code does not allow signage on the canopy, so we're not showing any signage. We're just showing the striping as a decorative element. So this is the video showing the 7-Eleven. This is the current prototype that they're building. I don't believe they have any currently in Michigan. We have a couple under construction that are going to be opening soon. But as of right now, this is the latest and greatest. So as you can see, that had the 7-Eleven coloring. It was a little bit lighter tones. So again, we're happy to, whatever you guys would prefer as far as those building colors, we're happy to work with you guys. And then on the inside, it's a much more modern, just fresh. I feel like I like the appearance of the newer layout. It does have the food services as far as the grab-and-go type of food, made fresh daily at the site. Again, it's not a custom-ready, custom-design order food. It's more of a in and out. You know, we want to keep the customers happy, keep them moving, keep them fed. So just to give you an idea of the interior of the site, this is what the floor plan would look like. And I think that is it. John, did you want to speak to the outreach that you did with the neighborhood?
And sir, name and address for the record, please.
John Krupka with Encore Real Estate Development, 135 East Westminster, Lake Forest, Illinois. So prior to the public notice going out, in preparation for this meeting, I did walk Wardcliff and paper the residents with an introduction to me, to our group, the project that we were proposing on the motel site, along with my contact information and the site plan that Mandy has shared with you. This was about 3 months ago. I worked within about a 500-foot radius of our project. I did get, I don't know, sir, I know you're very close, but you're a landlord.
All rentals.
Correct.
You can talk to them all, they'll say.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And understood. I don't know what, yes, I understand. I don't know whether any of the letters that I
Sir,
put in the mailboxes.
address the planning commission.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry. Ever made them to the landlords. But the tenants did respond back. Overwhelmingly, the response was favorable. I didn't get any calls in opposition of the project. We got a lot of input from the residents that we've incorporated into the plan. A more significant landscape buffer being one of them. Although they wanted protection from light as well as visibility of the unit, all of the residents that contacted me did mention that at the end of Wardcliff, there's a hole in the fence that they use as a shortcut around the motel into Grand River. It seemed very important to the residents to have some sort of connection between the Wardcliff Circle and Grand River so they can get to the bus station, but also to food and beverage options that exist on Grand River. The residents were very supportive and excited to have another food option for their community, for that neighborhood, and we're happy to provide that. Any additional comments that might come in that would help us integrate with the neighborhood and work in concert and partnership with them for this to be a community amenity. We're all ears and prepared to listen.
Well, thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. I'll just throw the site plan up here for reference in case anybody wanted to reference anything.
May I ask a question?
Mr. Shorkey?
This is more of a comment. We don't have a landscape ordinance per se, but the list of landscaping, just a word of the wise, check and make sure that they are native or at least not invasive species. We've started partnering with our Parks Department and bouncing those lists off them just to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was designed by our landscape architect team,
I am
so
not a botanist,
hopefully.
so.
Yeah, I'm not either. I didn't do it. But we can definitely make sure if there's any changes, we'd be happy to make them.
Questions for the applicant? I would be tempted to re-ask my questions about the economics of these, but I do think you're in a different spot. You're a little further down Grand River and probably a little more access to the MSU student community than, say, the Sheets or the Tailgaters would be, but. Anybody else?
I'll ask the same
Commissioner
question
Brooks?
as I asked the former applicants. Does 7-Eleven sell any Kratom products or 7-O products?
So I didn't know what those were when you asked, but I did Google it while I was sitting there, and it does say that their main stores do not sell those since there was a lawsuit involved with that. The franchise they can't control, but this is not a franchise site, so this site would not have it, based on my Google research.
So it's not a franchise site, so does that mean that the actual 7-Eleven corporation owns?
Correct.
Okay. What's the difference between those two?
With 7-Eleven Corporation owning it, I feel like it's better managed from a maintenance perspective because they have the control. If there's complaints, there's a larger company behind it to help with maintenance, keeping things upkeep. Unfortunately, sometimes the franchise sites, it's the individual owner, so they have to upkeep it themselves. It's a little bit of a different as far as the maintenance goes, more so than anything, I'd say.
Any other questions? Hearing none. At this point,
I'll raise a point. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Mr. Short?
You want to be able to point to the.
Yeah, in looking at the list of variances, she made a really good point. The language does say that on that building perimeter landscaping, it does say that it's there or somewhere else on the site. That might be a negotiable item, so we can work that out when we start, if we get through, assuming we get through the special use permit, we'll work that out before we go to the zoning board of appeals.
Very good. Any other questions from the commission?
No.
Okay, seeing none. Ms. Sharkey, do we have any public comment on this one?
I would open the public hearing at, hold on,
7:59.
7:59, and you,
Mr. Karagoulis spoke at public comment, but this is a public hearing, and he did fill out the form for this.
Very good.
For this.
So I'll open public comment at 7:59. And Mr. Caragula, yep. And just, again, name and address for the record.
Okay, Michael Karagoulis, 2177 Heritage, 48864. But I'm also the lot owner of, not the immediately adjacent property, but the one next to it, at the corner of Wardcliff and Mansfield. I did speak to that guy today too, the one adjacent. Anyway, that growth in that cul-de-sac is seasonal. In the wintertime, you see right through it. And it's all garbage trees. In fact, it's just garbage all around that cul-de-sac. It's just terrible. So, you know, be a good neighbor, you clean that up. The fence is falling, every other picket is falling off. You know, it all needs to be redone. It can be done a lot better. And a berm would really help. What we have with, next to Whole Foods, there's this berm with pine trees every 6 feet. And then our lot line fence, which is 8 feet, that whole run there. Okay, and that's quiet, private, it's great. So I would like the same treatment on that side. And the walkthrough is not on your property, it's the property with the housing, yeah, the apartments there.
With the residents.
No, I think I forgot to.
So that's what I need. And I want to talk to you as the neighbor, okay? My tenants, they come and go, you know, I had one stay for 10 years, just moved out. The neighbor is 11 years and they're not going anywhere. So, I mean,
Sir, I'll grant you about 30 more seconds.
yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Just
I'm losing.
bring up the neighbor.
Very good.
That's all I have.
And I will close public comment at 8:01 PM. You're also in a new.
One job.
Yeah. I couldn't even get her on time, so I'm not judging anybody. All right, with that, we can move to at least an informal vote.
Can we have a bit of discussion before the vote?
Very well. Commissioner Nahum, kick us off.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the SUP request standards. And the one that I have a little bit of concern about is, you know, this project would not adversely affect or be hazardous to existing neighboring uses. I mean, I can't speak to, I assume all gas stations work somewhat similarly. When I go past the Shell station, which is only a few hundred yards from this, when they're filling it, it reeks like the whole area. And I don't think that's something that can really be avoided. I'm also concerned with the apartments that are immediately adjacent and like very close to those pumping stations. And I know that with our notice policy, that's given to the apartment owner, and they like are supposed to like post that in their like leasing office. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. So those aren't sent to every individual apartment.
That is correct.
And so I think there could be very likely that many of the neighbors, you know, short-term rentals aren't in a position to know about this taking place, or maybe temporary enough that they wouldn't feel that it's worth coming here. And so I just want to speak to the hypothetical tenant right there, that I would be very uncomfortable with having a gas station that close to, you know, my bedroom window. And so I feel that this, although it's not precluded in the like ordinances, but I think this is a hazardous use to a neighboring residence. So I am uncomfortable with this policy on that grounds.
Very good. Any other commissioner comments?
I have one.
Commissioner Brooks?
I'm just doing a quick Google here, but there is the possibility that 7-Eleven could sell locations from a company-operated store to a franchisee, in which case then the 7-O or the Kratom drug could possibly be sold. Not that
So
it's the only
if,
decision here, but
I'm curious what the land use question behind your questioning about the product that they're selling is.
well, because it has to do with public safety.
So
Isn't that related?
are you
to-
speaking of, because I don't know what you're speaking about. Are you speaking about a narcotic? Are you speaking about a drug? Are
Yeah,
you speak, because if they're selling narcotics, we will shut that down.
I don't, it's not, I don't know enough about it to know
So I
that.
can speak a little bit about it.
Go
So
ahead.
it's a drug that activates the same opiate receptors as like actual narcotics. It's currently supplemented and unregulated, but there's currently lots of lawsuits across the country, including here in Michigan, regarding its use. So I don't know if it's our place here to say we can't allow gas stations that might sell it, but I mean,
Yeah. Yes, so thank you for that. So I'm not saying that that this is everything that's going into what I'm saying here or a full decision. I'm just saying, I think it's somewhat concerning, given the state of what's going on with the Kratom topic publicly. That being aside, though, I'm concerned about the 300 feet setback going down to 24.4 feet. That's a dramatic decrease that I'm just unwilling to support at this point. And the other one, the 24.4 feet variance, even from a 60-foot with a screen, is still a 50%, more than 50% reduction. So I'm super hesitant to do either of those. The landscape issue is somewhat, that's a minor issue at this point.
So staff is recognizing an error. This shows all of this as residential zoning. Looking at our zoning map, that chunk is not residentially zoned. That is 24.4 feet to the property line. That is true. But your closest, yeah, you still have, as measuring from the canopy, you still have this line, except that's commercial zoning.
commercial, yeah.
That's commercial zoning. That's your closest, we would call that a structure. And that's 62.4 feet. This 24.4 doesn't, staff is noticing that, and please disregard that. That's not the variance that would be required. The zoning line actually comes across here, almost straight across here, and does this. This then is the distance to the building. So the building setback is 62.4 feet, and that might go away if they're willing to double lock coniferous trees on that back property line, because then it reduces to 60.
So I can appreciate that. I guess, though,
I apologize if there's been miscommunication.
there's a residential building, though, an apartment building, though, right next to it.
There is.
So even though it may be zone C2, it's still a residential, like an apartment building full of people, which is definitely closer than 300 feet, I would guess.
It is. But by definition in the zoning ordinance, that is not a variance. I have read you the standard. It's residential districts.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from, but it does not say residential land use, and even if it did, it's a multifamily residential land use.
Okay. I don't have any more comments on this.
Further comments?
What is the planning commission's pleasure on this then?
All right. Are we prepared to give a straw poll? All right, for those that would approve straw poll? We may need more commissioners. This would be 2-2.
I get that. Again, this is not a binding vote.
Correct.
So would you like to bring this back for another round of discussion? It would not be another public hearing, it would be discussion. Or would you like to see two different, a resolution of support, or a resolution of approval and a resolution of denial, and then decide which one you like? I like the first option better than the second option, and I'm seeing nods from the applicant.
I intuitively would lean toward the first option as well.
Okay.
We will proceed.
In theory, you'll get two commissioners back.
Right.
You might have a 3-3 vote at that point, but you do have more commissioners.
Well, bigger ties are better ties, right?
Okay, we'll bring this back for discussion again. First July meeting, and I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Sure.
Fascinating.
Mr. Chair, would you like to proceed or would you like to call a 5-minute recess?
I would probably move for a 5-minute recess.
Okay.
At this point, the chair will recognize a 5-minute recess, convening back at 8:16 PM.
if not getting the variance means they can't develop the land that they want, it's good to think of having them encourage a second plan that doesn't require variances or an alternate use.
Given what we just heard though around the zoning, I think the variance is gonna be.
I think that it won't be as
Okay.
large.
Okay. With that, I will call the June 22nd, 2016 Meridian Township Planning Commission back to order at 8:16. And with that, we can move on to the next item on the agenda, and I, of course, will kick off of it, and we're moving to unfinished business. First part of unfinished business is REZ 26010 Copper Creek.
Okay.
It's page 129, so it helps.
I'm almost there now, thanks. Here, okay.
No, okay, sorry, yeah.
No, it's okay. So this is the follow-up to rezoning 26010 Copper Creek. It's 65.38 acres of a 139-acre parcel on Hazlet Road. It was rezoned to RA a couple of years ago. They're doing a planned residential development overlay on it. Staff has no other comments. The requested rezoning conforms with the master plan and the future land use map. The lots as proposed conform with the underlying RA zoning. The plan attached to the application shows that wetlands on the property are being preserved as dedicated open space. The requested overlay zoning is consistent with the prior Copper Creek development to the west. There is a resolution of approval in your packet.
With that, any comments from Mr. Shorkey? Hearing no comments from Mr. Shorkey, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I move to adopt the resolution to recommend the approval of rezoning 26010 to rezone 65.38 acres of 139 acres located on Hazlet Road from RA, single-family residential, to RA with planned residential development overlay 1 for the reasons listed in the packet.
Very good.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Shrewsbury, and I believe this requires a roll call vote.
It does.
All right, Commissioner Shrewsbury,
Yes.
Commissioner Nahum,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes.
Okay. This will be forwarded to the township board. Thank you very much.
Rock on. All right, and then with that, we can move on to the next item on the agenda, and that would be SUP 26011 Ketty Craft Restaurant.
Yes. Again, this is the second meeting, that the public hearing was 2 weeks ago. That went very well. Based on your feedback, staff provided a resolution of approval. The proposed restaurant does comply with the township master plan and the future land use map. The proposed restaurant is consistent with the general standards for granting a special use permit found in 86-126 of the Code of Ordinances. The applicant has agreed to comply with the conditions in the resolution to approve.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Shorkey? With that, I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution. So moved by Commissioner Nahum. Could I get a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Brooks. We have to read that part into the record for the resolution,
Is
correct?
that resolution in our packet? I'm not seeing it.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it's
Yeah.
on page 134.
134.
Okay, oh, I went too far. I'm looking at last month's report. Sorry. Thank you.
Very good.
I bookmarked the wrong page.
Yes. Here are the conditions of approval.
We need it read.
Yeah, we need a red end.
Oh, so I can read it out.
Commissioner.
I moved to adopt the resolution to approve special use permit 26011 to allow the construction of a new restaurant at the property at 4632 Okemos Road, subject to the conditions found in the resolution to approve for the reasons listed in the packet.
Very good. We've got a motion and a second, and then we'll have a roll call vote. Commissioner Shrewsbury.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
Commissioner Nahum.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, because new restaurants are required around here. And in my years, now I get to say we finally got one. I feel like
Okay.
it's time to retire.
Now, that is not a recommendation, that is an approval, so I will let them know.
Very good. I would just ask Mr. Shorkey, and I apologize, I've lost my notes or I can't find them. There was now that we've approved this, there was some regulation where I believe the entire board was confused. It had something to do with like the primary use as a restaurant.
Yeah.
Could we, I don't know, find where that is and bring that back for like a policy or a breakdown discussion? Because I did not understand what that meant, and I believe Commissioner McConnell didn't either.
Would you like it as a discussion item on your next agenda?
Are we light on the next agenda? As far as
We've got 3 discussions, no new public hearings.
no new public hearings, let's park it on that one. We can always push it again.
We will have the 2 gas stations, probably.
You've got the unfinished business of Sheets, 7-Eleven. You're gonna have Sing. And you got both then, but no new public hearings. So if you want an other business where we talk about, should we amend the ordinance somehow? Staff has had that discussion.
Yeah, please, let's add it.
Okay.
Because I suppose as we find these things, we should take a pass at them. And I feel like that goes back to my policy discussion around firefighting versus.
Sorry, Chair, I can't remember, did we also put in the discussion about the number of fueling spots? Is that a discussion that we wanted to have in the agenda somewhere in the future?
I feel like if we're adding things, that's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Staff's been talking about that. Did you want to talk about?
Oh, I just didn't know if us having a discussion would facilitate staff or, okay, no, never mind then.
okay, you're withdrawing?
Yeah, I'm okay, sorry.
No, the number of fuel stations is a black and white number. Restaurants in an office zone was
Right, yes.
that was a judgment call.
Right.
So that's,
Because it was that paradigm that caused that SUP in the first place, yes?
Yes.
Yes. And I have some, as I often do, I have issues with the language.
Okay.
All right. With that, we have our motion, we have our approval for Kettycraft. With that, we can move on to rezoning REZ 26013, the same property.
So, 2 weeks ago, we had the public hearing for Mr. Singh's application to rezone 1.1 acres at 2020 M78 from rural residential to multifamily residential of a density allowing him to convert his existing home into a duplex. You asked a couple questions. So, 1, staff's memo on June 8th for the public hearing indicated if the rezoning was approved, the proposed duplex would be required to connect to public water. It is a township policy for new residences to connect to public water if it is available as required by section 78-27 in the township ordinance. That section in the township ordinance requires sewer connections for all new construction intended for human occupancy. Based on these ordinances, the proposed duplex would be required to connect to township water and sewer before any certificate of occupancy is issued. I will note, well, I won't, never mind, it's a different application. The other question was about the township pathway. According to engineering department, the applicant will be required to create and record a pathway easement across the front of the subject property. If the property is redeveloped in the future, the applicant will be required to either construct a pathway or pay the amount in lieu of construction. So he's not being asked to, to build a duplex, build the whole pathway, but he is being asked to dedicate the easement so the township can do it at some point in the future. With that, the applicant is here and can answer if you have further questions. Staff is in a position now, would like to know what you'd like to do with this rezoning.
Any questions for Mr. Shorkey?
I do have one for the applicant.
Sure.
Well,
I,
let's exhaust Mr. Shorkey.
Oh, okay.
Any questions for Mr. Shorkey first, then move on to the applicant? Any questions for Mr. Shorkey?
You did say exhaust Mr. Shorkey first.
I believe our general role as a commission is to exhaust Mr. Shorkey, so
And no further questions.
we will continue with exhaustion later. All right, I think we're good with Mr. Shorkey. All right, Mr. Singh, if you would, just, and as usual, name and address for the record.
And note, this isn't a public hearing, but the applicant is allowed to address his own, okay.
My name is B.K. Singh, 2020 East M78. And about the pathway, I have something to say about that. I think pathway is required only when you build a new structure on the property. And this is just a remodeling. We are doing that to the existing, so pathway it's not required at this time. However, when the project comes to life, when all the areas are being developed, the pathway may be required now, that there's no sense of putting a little patch of concrete and then there's dirt after that. And it doesn't make any sense to have a pathway anyway. So it has to be a comprehensive plan to be, Meridian Township has to come up with a comprehensive plan to set up a sidewalk, just like Bath Township did. They had that comprehensive plan to install the sidewalk across the property within the Bath Township jurisdiction. So Meridian Township is requiring just a patchwork of sidewalk. That's not actually, it's not very effective.
Commissioner Shrewsbury.
I think I heard Mr. Sharkey say you would not be required to install the pathway, you just have to have the easement for it.
I couldn't hear.
That you're not being required to put in a pathway now. It would be
Yes.
only if the property is developed. You just have to allow for an easement to allow the pathway to go in later. My question for you, though, is that the last time when you were here, I believe that I heard you say that you did not intend to connect the property to water or sewer at this point because it was cost prohibitive. And I'm seeing here now that it is a requirement if these are redeveloped into the property that you propose. So my question for you is that something that makes this, would you still want to do this knowing that you would have the expense of connecting this to water and sewer? Or would that change your plan? Because if you can't proceed without water and sewer, and you don't plan to put water and sewer, you're not going to get a certificate of occupancy, and then so I just wanted to make sure you still want to proceed in the way you had proposed, knowing what we've just learned from Mr. Shorkey.
I mean, there's no public sewer to hook up to on the existing septic tank, and has been updated back in 2010 or something like that. It has a 1,500 gallon capacity dual tank, has been inspected by Ingham County back then. So to hook up to the public sewer, there is no such a thing as public sewer there. So you got to give some kind of a variance or whatever it is to get this existing sewer, septic tank be accommodated these two structures.
But Mr. Singh, if we rezone this and you develop the property, then you would have to, under the ordinance, would have to connect to Meridian Township's public
Yes,
sewer and
I
water.
will. Oh, definitely I will. When public sewer is available, the first thing I will make an application to hook it up to.
So can I ask a question to Principal Planner Sharkey real quick?
Commissioner Nahum.
So is public water and sewer currently available at that site? Because we're talking about, like, the line hasn't gone out there. So does that mean that it's not currently available, or they would have to make it available by extending the line?
It is inside the urban service boundary, however, I do not know exactly where those lines end. Water does get as far as Pins and Pints. They did connect to it. Water is somewhere to the south. I can't speak to specifically where it is. I don't have any information on where the sewer line might be. I only presented the ordinance as.
Okay, so if the lines don't currently reach the property, it is not available, just according to the language in the ordinance, correct?
I'm not going to say it's not available.
Okay.
I'm going to say it might be cost prohibitive.
Okay, so I'm just making sure that the language here is not regarding, like, the distance from the line. The language here would require him to.
I did not write this in a vacuum. I've talked to the planning director and I've talked to our engineering department, and just because, like, there's some, just availability and cost prohibitive are two different things.
Okay, great, yeah, that answered my question, thank you.
Any other questions from Mr. Singh? We are we remain in a conundrum, I believe, on this one. Okay. Mr. Singh, I guess you're there. Anything more you wish to put on the record?
Pardon?
Anything else you wish to put on the record?
No, I have nothing else to say.
Very good.
All the facts are here before you to decide that. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, at this point, I think we'd move to a straw poll, and we can take any commissioner comments related to a potential straw poll. Anybody wish to lead off comments?
I'll go.
Commissioner Brooks?
So I still adhere to what I've said previously on this, which is that the property owners, if they need, or if they want to rezone something and it's within the urban service boundary and it fits within the master plan, then I think it makes sense. I believe that this does in some cases, in most cases, from what we've read and seen. Though what I'm concerned about is what the consequences of it are if it becomes required to connect to the township services. But I don't know that that's the commission's responsibility necessarily. So I'm leaning towards supporting at the moment the rezone.
Okay. Further comments?
I'm concerned that this is leading to an impasse if it is indeed required to hook it up, that I just want to make sure that the applicant understands what is required. I again, for the reasons that you said, Commissioner Brooks, I think seeing where this is located and seeing the way the development is going there, the rezoning itself does not give me pause. The way that it got there, I think, of sort of build first and ask permission later gives me some concern. And I want to make sure you're not setting up the township for a big fight with the property owner. You know, if doing this appears to give the okay when it's not really, or it makes it unsustainable, then.
Well, please note that township didn't approach him about that.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I know. And so Mr. Singh, I hope you're listening, and I hope that you understand what else is maybe required of you to proceed with this, that it's not okay to, if the rezoning is approved, it's not okay to have occupants there without a certificate of occupancy and following the township's ordinances. So I guess, but the change in and of itself, I'm not opposed to, so I'd be inclined to say yes.
Yeah, I think almost we end up with the chicken or the egg thing, because I am personally caught on the if you do it, we'll rezone it later standard.
Mm-hmm.
I am generally in favor of property owners doing what they need to do to maximize their personal value out of their property. I think Commissioner Brooks makes great points, and it may be a personal sticking point for me, but I do not want to get in the habit of if you build it, we will zone. So I would be leaning toward no at this point, but it sounds like you have at least, sounds like 3 tentative yeses.
Yeah.
So I think,
Okay.
and we can't speak for those who are not here, but I think Commissioner McConnell felt strongly about this particular one, but
Well, you have one more discussion, because I'll bring a resolution to your next meeting.
yes, I was gonna say we'll have one more pass at it. So
And that will be July 13th.
July 13th.
Yep. Okay.
So Mr. Singh, we'll see you again July 13th.
Okay. July 13th, I'll bring a resolution, and it sounds like they kind of support your application, and they'll make a decision on July 13th, okay? Okay? And I'll email you in timely fashion this time.
I am going to write that statement down and use it in future communications. I like that one. Very good. So that brings unfinished business to a close. For that, we can move on to other business. Do we have any other business which may not have made the agenda?
I do not.
Thank you, Mr. Shorkey. Moving on to reports and announcements, Township Board update. What say you, Mr. Shorkey?
Say that we had a short week last week, and you think at this point I would know we're doing this.
Fast, don't they?
Especially when you don't, especially when Fridays didn't happen, basically.
A number of our stuff was on the consent agenda and went through.
Went through.
So let's see here, your last. June 16th agenda, what do they do? So, Garza family, 1745 Mack Avenue rezoning adoption. Parking standards, update adoption. Maintain sidewalk special assessment district number 22. Zoning amendment of the backyard chicken and rabbits, you'll be happy to know, did pass. That was adopted.
I was worried.
Board discussion about the land preservation acquisition you guys heard about on Hamilton Road. And that looks like everything that's gone on recently.
Very good. Anybody with any comments on the Township Board update? Hearing none. Liaison reports. Who is liaising as of these days? Commissioner Nahum.
Since our last meeting, the ZBA met to discuss a variance regarding putting solar panels at Okemos Community Church, and we voted in favor of allowing that variance. The variance was concerning putting the solar panels closer to the building as well as closer to the road than permitted by ordinance. However, their lot is probably the building predates the existence of the ordinances, and there was no other place to put the solar panels, and so, yeah, it went very smoothly.
Say in my own subdivision, I'm seeing some popping up of solar panels. When I was HOA president, we approved a set. Now I'm not president and I care less. Very good. Just to be absolutely, there was a law passed a couple years ago which basically denoted that every HOA is supposed to have a solar panel policy written. And you can put basically no obstruction outside of any other given process to solar panels. You cannot charge a fee, you cannot do, it was quite interesting. So we wrote a solar panel policy.
I think it's HOAs, it does not apply to condo associations.
Does not apply to condos. Condo associations are governed by the Line Act. Once worked for a lawyer that specialized in condo law. Mark was a smart guy. All right, is that I believe that is it for our liaison reports. With that, project updates, Mass Timber, is that what we call it?
Yep.
We sent this to.
Yep, I'm
Okay.
just giving you some feedback. I attended the Corridor Improvement Authority meeting last week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the feedback I got from them was they feel that this should be a level 3 amenity in the MUPUD ordinance.
Okay.
It's not talking about wood paneling, it's talking about wood construction, it's talking about supports. They saw that and now 2 of the 4 members saw that like immediately and really clearly. So by consensus, not formal vote or anything, but yeah, so what I'd like to do is go ahead and schedule a public hearing for July 27th, because I can't make the 13th meeting at July 13th at this point. And then, we'll notice it in the paper, and I'll bring you a resolution showing that as a level 3 in the MUPUD ordinance, and it is included in the list that I showed you in the commercial PUD ordinance, and then defining it using the definition that I previously showed you, and I'll put that all together as one resolution, and then you can discuss it there, but schedule a public hearing and move it forward. Does that make sense?
Sounds appropriate to us.
Okay.
A level 3 seems high, but
Yeah.
I am not an expert. Very good. So that's 11 public remarks. We have no members of the public, and so we can move to commissioner comments. Any commissioner comments?
I have
Commissioner Brooks.
a question. Mr. Shorkey, for the fueling station ordinance, it says for Meridian Township, fueling station is each location at a gasoline pump island where a one motor vehicle may be fueled.
Correct.
What does that mean?
It means that a fuel pump has two stations, and that's staff's interpretation. We've talked about this and we're on the same page about it. So if you see something that has 8 pumps, 8 times 2, 16.
That'd be 16 fueling stations.
Because there is a fuel station, weirdly, is defined.
Right.
Yeah, which you were reading, I'm sorry. That was
okay.
redundant. But yeah, each location at a pump island where one motor vehicle may be fueled. So an island might have 2, I'm thinking of Kroger, for instance.
Yeah.
Kroger, an island will have 2 pumps. 4 vehicles can fuel from those 2 pumps.
Right.
That's 4 stations.
Okay. And so then, so that's 4 stations. Wait, okay, so a pump on each side of a station, so it's 1 station, 2 pumps.
1 pump, 2 stations.
Oh, 1 pump, 2 stations.
Right.
Okay.
I can be fueling my truck and you can pull up next to me and we can say hi, but we're fueling 2 different vehicles at the same pump.
1 pump, 2 fueling stations.
Right.
Then the variance request for the sheets, thank you, is 8. The current ordinance allows for 10 fueling stations.
Correct.
It would only be 5 pumps.
Right.
And the variance is for 8 pumps, 16 fueling stations.
Yes, yes.
Partridge in a pear tree.
Okay.
It's on the input, not the output.
Yes, okay. All right, just for the record, I did look at the Meyer on Google Maps from 2025, and it has 7 pumps. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. That's all I wanted to ask about.
Okay.
I mean, I do think it was interesting, obviously, on the, I mean, at this point, we set up for approval, how many more pumps and stations today? So another 32 stations roughly between the 2 proposals?
Well,
No, one of them was 2-2, but yeah.
Right.
7-Eleven complied with that.
Yeah.
Okay. 7-Eleven did not require a variance, correct?
Right.
No, one.
So that was 16 plus 10, so 26?
So 10 and 16 is 20, yeah, 26.
And then you add what Tailgaters has.
Another 16.
Another 16. That's math 42. That's beyond my skill set. That's beyond my mathematical skill set when we have to carry the 1.
How often do we see Meyer 7 pumps full?
Yeah. Only when I need to get in and out.
Really? Even then?
The more, they seem to always have one there that's never working though.
You can come speak at the ZBA.
I could not. I really don't want to be recorded for any more of my nonsense that I already am. Any more commissioner comments?
No, thank you.
I would just say happy first Father's Day to Commissioner Nahum, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. All right. With that, would entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And seconded, moved by Commissioner Brooks, seconded by Commissioner Nahum. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. We are closed at 8:45.